guys, and welcome to the channel. This is Babarul. I was asked to make something for free-to-play players, so I tried to make a necromancer build. Well, necro is one of my favorite classes because it's powerful all around. It can do anything. So I made two builds. It's not like really original or something, but I want to share it with you, the power build and the condition build and how I use it. I don't like power in general. In Guild War, like in general, there is few classes I think that can be played well with power, like Reaper, but since we took in free-to-play a core Necromancer, I didn't really enjoy it. It feels like the damage is kinda low, especially that I have a high armor, like too much toughness and vitality. That make my damage is kinda weak. Wait, that's not... Well, let's change the gear. I have really high ping while recording this. I've been suffering with an internet problem for the past few days, so forgive the delay. But that's basically my points. Like you see, toughness and the critical chance is getting higher when I'm inside the shroud and the frosty too. But that's it in general. So let's talk about the power build first, but like I said, you're free to change whatever you want. I just don't like power in general. And then tell you the great condition build, and it's really powerful. So for a start, I use a mix of knight and cavalier actually. See the trinkets here, cavalier, berserker. This you can't get as free to play. I think it's hard to get it. I'm not sure if a free to play player can actually get this mixed states, but in general you need to get your health in power. It doesn't matter if you get it high or not, honestly, but I like to have some bit of toughness. And that's it. My weapons are berserker. I use dagger warhorn for melee, sorry about that, and axe focus for range. Okay, now let's talk about the traits. I go with spite, soul reaping, blood magic. 1, 2, 2. This one for supporting our axe and focus. Higher damage, less time, less cooldown. I take this because we have might, like a lot of might generation. So see, when you attack full with health less than 15%, you get 3 stacks of might, and the auto attack of the shroud gives you might for 17 seconds now, but I have bone duration, so there is a lot of might. And I use schedule of battle, so there's too much might generation, and that's why I use higher power through might. You can go with this for the bone corruption damage, but this can't crit anymore, so it's not really this good, and it works when your opponent only have health lower than 15%, so the damage all the time higher. I think it's kinda better, and we already using focus, so we have some corruption. This one is for one shot, and I have too much toughness, so I can't one shot people. Like, only you give your damage, your burst, while people are feared. It may work well with Reaper especially, but I don't like it here, so I like this one better. I take this whenever I play power. Hard damage less than 15%, 20% is too much. Some people may suggest this for the corruption, but like I said again, it can't crit, so the damage is weak, and only the corrupt. And when you power, you don't really need corrupt. Like, it's good for everyone, but it's not like you have resistance that completely stopping you. No, it's not a big deal. You can go through boons. So, and with soul reaping we go with 3, 2, 2. This one is a must. I think the higher damage, frosty, critical chance is, you can't give up on this for like stability and stomach break. It doesn't make sense. You can take this. I tried this with bar. but I preferred the higher healing and vitality, but it's completely fine to take this. Actually, it makes the more logical option. Those are free for you. Like, you don't have to take swiftness, but it removes the impeding movement. You could take vulnerability, it's 10 seconds, so it's gonna give you higher damage with time. You're free to use whatever you want. I like the higher healing because it's affect the vampiric presence. So it doesn't really make a difference. Let's go with it. And blood magic, I go with the movement speed and dagger support. So whenever I switch to dagger 2, its cooldown become like 6 seconds or something. I can heal a lot through it. And vampiric presence, and this great skill is for our condition removed. It consumes condition from people around us, so that's not nice for us, of course, but it turns 5 conditions into life force, so you never out of life force because of the condition. And this is how we remove conditions is built, through in and out. I mean, when an out of shroud, you remove 5 condition into life force, 35%. It's 7 for every condition. This skill remove all the condition, us, and spectral walk remove 1 condition and give us life force every 2 seconds. So it's like 5 in total, I guess. And this skill is free. Like, all those skills don't change them, but this skill is free. I use this against condition player. It's helped me more. You can use this also against condition. You can use spectral grasp for CC. It's literally up to you. You can use corrupt if you want some corrupt, but I mostly use either this or the field against projectile. It helps a lot with rangers. They are like your mortal enemies. And this is kinda it. I don't go with anything else. Sometimes I tried this, the grasp, but honestly those 2 skills are the better. You can go with the second of power. It's really annoying to your opponent, like you have to remove it. It screws them a bit, but you're not conditioned, so this skill doesn't really matter. So that's it. Talking about the rotations, I usually start with, like, always walk with full bar, of course, of life force. I start attacking like with that skill, probably like only to open or some auto attacks. When you like bait 1 dodge or something, you can go with this or the court. Now you have more life force. People will start having boons. Now you rip it. Make sure to land this one to rip the boons. It's gonna be much better. You would be lost some health or whatever. Switch to the dagger warhorn. Now use warhorn 5. Heal yourself, immobilize your target, heal yourself, deliver some auto attacks, and you can enter shroud. This is how it go. I will putting some videos later. In the video I will put some roaming clips for the power. Now we switch to the condition build, the one I actually liked, because this build doesn't feel to have this much damage, since I'm only using well, not that great power. Oh, and by the way, I missed something. The runes I used durability, but if you're free to play, I don't think you can actually get this rune, but there is many better options, like the rune of strength, since we use too much might, and the rune of warm. It will give you vitality and turn some of your vitality into ferocity. It's really doesn't matter this much. And whole break, it will make you tankier against condition and give you damage. The point of choosing the rune, I would like to have little bit high toughness and then damage. If you can go glaciers, it's better. I would choose, if not durability, I would actually go with the warm. And the sigil, I use sigil of accuracy, so I have too much toughness, I can't put enough precision, so that's why I use it. And I use sigil of battle. You can switch. I use battle in both ways, but you can change one for bloodlust, so you would have higher power and that give you higher damage. I actually like this one. Tell me what you think in the build, or if you think anything can be adjusted, and please consider watching the roaming first to give it a good look through. But let's talk about the better build now, the condition one. Well, we are back again with the condition build now. In the condition build, I use mostly Trailblazer. Don't think a free-to-play, I'll say this again, can get this. But it would work amazingly with Dire, it would work with Rapid. Dire is toughness, vitality, and condition damage major. And Rapid is precision, toughness, condition damage major. And you could mix both of them. The problem you would lose is, like, I have only 24, or let's say 25% condition duration, you would lose those. It's not a big deal, honestly. It will not affect you since the damage is more important. Better than having too much duration, since we're gonna count on bleed. And it already have like 11 seconds and 10 seconds. Anyone would remove it. The damage would be better, honestly. So it doesn't really make a difference. And you would take precision because of this trait. 30% of your precision turned into condition damage. So, and increase critical chance on foes for every condition. So that would make it, well, worthwhile. But you can go, I would go with Dire completely to have like 30k health. Crazy, but wouldn't like it. So, the rune is actually kind of up to you. I use Crite. I really count on bleed in this build. But you don't have to take it. There's some other choices like Leech and I guess the rune, maybe the Undead for toughness and condition damage, especially if you're gonna go with Rapid. But your toughness is gonna be really high anyway. So I would choose Crite, maybe Traveler, but I don't like 10% for all condition instead of 50% for bleed. It's up to you, but if you wanna copy this build, I use Crite. Since you're not gonna be using Trailblazer if you're free to play, you would choose instead of Malice. Like I use Corruption, both said, but that's of course wrong. I was just testing too much, and I like testing even the rotation, what to start with, and that's why I did it. But you would go with Corruption only one thing, like the staff probably, because the higher damages come from here. So put in the staff, use the staff whenever you need. It's kind of a utility and life force, and then move to the scepter. The scepter have higher damage, and you can put Malice for 10% condition duration and agony. So remember we said 25%, now you have 20% bleed that I didn't have, and already at 94%. So you would have 50 from here, 30 from your weapon set if you're on scepter. Now that would get you to 80. And check this out, 20%, you would have 100% bleed uptime. Okay, so that was the way. Let's talk about the build itself now. This build has two variants and some options. One for Zerging, one for roaming. It can work well in both, especially the Zerging build can work well, but I fear it lose some damage, so that's why I change it. The gear will stay the same. Okay, let's go with the roaming build. I used 1-3-2. This skill for putting Torment on Fear every 30 seconds, and so to make your fall less damaging, and that to make you can escape through cliffs and whatever easier. And the higher damage in single push of a button is Terror. This skill is amazing, especially if you really invested in Fear. Well, I don't too much. I mean, this skill I didn't change it really. Okay. And this is optional, honestly, because you can get the healing from your condition, and especially if you have multiple opponents, you start healing a little bit on them. But it doesn't work while you're in Shroud. It's only work when you're out, so you should have good timing. Or this is kind of a trappy skill. It will give you much higher condition damage on the scepter. I mean, look how much bleed and torment you can put. But it's like 30 seconds. Who gonna have bleed on them for 30 seconds? Come on. And it work only in the scepter, but it goes you even in Shroud. So you would fight most of the time on Scepter, so you would have it actually active. But this or the healing, so I don't honestly know. It's up to you. I used both and they work amazing in either ways. But I missed the healing, honestly, when I left it. It's felt more tankier, especially when you're fighting multiple opponents like 1v2 or small scale roaming. This skill doesn't convince me. Like most people would suggest this, but I don't. It's like a single corrupt, only one boon corrupted with it, and it's in melee. Like if anyone in melee range 240 radius, you can already really do some serious damage. You don't need the weakness and 2 stacks of bleed. For like 20 seconds, no one will have it on them for 20 seconds. Fight would be over if they have bleed for 20 seconds. So I don't suggest this ever, especially in Zerging, when you don't want to be in melee range. This in Zerging I think is a must. Some would say this for the corrupt area, and this skill change to an area of effect. Like when you hit target, everyone around them get affected. If you don't have it, look, change back, and now it's a single target. I would take this most of the time in general, and in Zerging only this, I wouldn't change it. Now for Soul Reaping, I would go with, the other weapon we use is Staff, so I would go with Soul Mark, and Fear of Death, and Doomfire. Some people would say this for like, I think in meta battle, the meta build, it says this for the stability, but if you don't have this, there's no reason to stay in Shroud for a long time. It's become pointless. But you wanna do that, and you wanna make damage inside it, so not your opponent be safe while you're inside it. And the only way to do that is with the burning on auto attack. Because once you have no other skill or you finished your rotation, it is only auto attack. And you have a long bar of health, you would have to, yes, switch in and out, but it's like you can click through this too fast and left with nothing to do. And I don't think 3 seconds of stability that can be removed or corrupted from many classes, and it's a single stack can be wasted with another CC, can do this much. So I take this all the time. If you go hybrid, like you leave this build completely and go hybrid, you may take this, but I would use Doomfire. In the Zerging version, we could take this. I mean, Zerging version would look like this, actually, but we will come to it later. We not go with the fear at all. I will explain why. And with Blood Magic, we go with 3, 3, 2. Like I said, this skill, like, I can't play Necro without it now. Too much condition. You have to have a defense system, not just kicked out of this shroud and this is over. So I think this is a must. If you have a Firebrand running next to you, yeah, maybe you could go Wells if you play Bower or whatever, but this is a must. And Blood Magic for quality, Vampiric Presence for quality of life. Now we can put bleed so easily, like with auto attacks, so I use Lesser Saint Vampirism. And this skill, I'm not sure, but when it's active, like when every 20 seconds you have bleed on your opponent, of course, so it will be active on cooldown. It doesn't only give you the active heal, it gives you the heal of the skill itself, like if you used it. You get heal for those 5k. Oh, and we were kicked out. Okay, we're back in. Took me a long time to get back again. Oh, the godspeed. Anyway, so in this skill, like I said, it's actually give you the heal. Like, I'm not sure this is supposed to be a part of it, but it doesn't only, well, it's activate the skill, so it makes sense. And put 5, you can hit your opponent for 5 times, giving yourself 500, and actually more than that because of the healing power on every hit. So too much healing through that. And you have regeneration from this, and on the evade too, that's a lesser one. And you have healing on your condition, and you have Vampiric Presence. So this is how you keep your heal up. switching between life force and your healing while you out of it. Well, now let's discuss how you use this build. Mostly you want to start the fight like when you come down from your workflow on the scepter and dagger. If you're chasing someone or someone try to run on the workflow and you want to catch them, this is why we have this skill. This, and like while you have the entire corruption to 105, I use actually, like I said, 2 corruption, but I use malice. You would use on the other set the agony. So our condition damage will become much higher, especially when we use condition damage, the combat quality tuning crystal. And I like to use this with every build. Like the sustain from it is nice. I know some people think that's stupid, but I use it in everything. Like necro, power and condition, I use this. And power, I use superior sharpening stone, and condition I use combat quality tuning. Of course you can get this cheaper from the vendor in World vs World, but it works on vitality and toughness. You see, this one work on precision and velocity. Anyway, so this skill like 12,000 or something. It bought bleed, it go up for 5k and 400 or something, and poison go up to almost 4k. Torment goes higher than 3k. Starkit will be moving, of course, it's a workflow, so he'll be down from it easily. And if he gone far enough, you will be out of combat, and he still have conditions that get him on the combat, so you can chase him with your workflow. But this skill again is optional. Those skills is not. This one only change. I mean, here what you're gonna use? A flesh golem. This skill is amazing, especially on down bodies. So if you're not careful chasing, but if you remove this, you will not be able to get people down from the workflow. It's gonna be a really hard task. So what you're gonna use with zerging, especially, I use this. Not a chance anything else. I use this with zergs. In rooming, I either use this signet, of course, or sometimes I go with spectral ring. I tried grasp, the corrupt, the signet, but I mostly found that this is a better choice, or I use this with rooming too. Poison cloud, like it's those two. This if you want to be more damage in fight and catch people, and this if you want to be tankier and protect yourself from projectiles. That's it. Like honestly, they're the best. So I said you start your fight with the scepter. You make sure you land this, not get evaded. And you could switch to staff or whatever, but stay in this. Don't switch to staff. Enter the shroud. Get skill 5 with the torment. Let's see if we can go somewhere to show you. Anyways, it will be in the videos. I kept testing at the start. I was starting with the staff actually, but I found that starting with the scepter is a much better option. If you're fighting zergs, you could start with the staff. You want to be at that 1200 sweet range, of course. But if you're roaming, like fighting 1v1 or 1v2, you want to start on the scepter. And then enter shroud, auto attack or something. People will usually evade while you enter shroud, like they already seeing damage will happen. And then land 5. The 5 skill of the shroud, keep putting torment and end up with immobilize and higher damage. To land your skill 2 with the bleed and chill, I usually fear with the skill 3 and then attack with 2. So the person will be CC'd, probably break and stun only, and will land, he will not evade it. So now you're closer, they can't keep kiting you. Well, what's the problem with this build? The necro in general have a serious problem. In general, it's not just this build. It can be heavily kited, it can be viewed from far. Like, this is annoying, you can't really do much. This is why I use this a lot of time. I have to be able to handle the range. This build doesn't really suffer against soul beast or boon beast for the corruption. You see, we corrupt with this 3 boons, 1 boon, so it's kinda good. I mean, we don't have any other corrupt, I guess, but this is like already enough. It's really annoys him, and once you land this, they panic. Okay. You can keep catching them also with your shroud. It's hard for them to keep evading your marks, and your field does too much damage. Their damage is not that high while you have protection, and especially if you have this while they can't go through it, and you have another health bar that go up to like 90k or something, so they are not the problem. But one of the classes I had problem with was Holosmiths, like the really glassy Holosmiths, static discharge, because they have blocks, they go in and out with stealth, kiting too fast, you can't catch them. But anyway, the Zerg build, we leave the entire fear thing, because it's like a single target, except from here, it doesn't work. We want too much heal, I want to be able to self-sustain and support people faster. So, I would go with Master of Corruption. Oh, and since we already don't have damage on fear, this skill became pointless. So I'll go with higher vitality and healing in general. It makes me more tankier, so I can withstand more. And now it became set in stone. I mean, for me at least. Now this is how it works. This skill became on 20-second cooldown, 8 seconds from projectile mitigation. You can land it from far. It's 900, and you put it like that. Your Zerg is there. The projectile can't go through, so you're having your people, and anyone goes through it, it's unblockable. They will take this poison, and it took with me for about like 750, so it's really good. And sometime I even like bothe it and spectral walk in it. If there is down people, I put it on them, so it's harder to revive and Blade Land. So the enemy can't really move toward us, like there's a bomb here, and go spectral walk back again and keep using marks. You know how it works. So you will see now some videos for both power and condition necromancer. I hope you like it. Please consider subscribing to the channel, and tell me what you think of this build, or if anything should be changed. It should be really a discussion in the comment section. See you.